Alright, before you Hoyo Sims angrily begin to beat your keyboards and tell me that I'm wrong, hold up, just listen up what I gotta say. I want to tell you guys that I don't agree with the radical and exaggerated boycotts of the POC fandom. I think they're fighting an uphill battle that's just super unnecessary. However, I could understand their sentiments because seeing the lack of melanin in the Hoyoverse games is disappointing for reasonable reasons. Let me explain. Imagine you're playing your favorite game and you decide to take inspiration from your culture/country. They add so much detail and homage from your roots, which gets you excited. But when the game finally reveals the characters from your native land, to your surprise, there is little to no acknowledgement of your people. In fact, they look like complete foreigners. This leaves you feeling like your culture is good, but your people are not. Kind of like a kid who brings a soccer ball to a field for a match, but doesn't get to play. Obviously, this would rub off anybody in the wrong way. Look guys, I don't agree that HSR and Genshin need immense diversity to the point that it looks like downtown Los Angeles. In fact, I think they're fine the way they are right now. I'm just saying that it's extremely disappointing and slightly disrespectful that the one time that it made sense to add some dark-skinned characters to their game, the one time it would have been a seamless insert to the game that it would have fit perfectly, they decided being like, nah, copy and paste white character. I mean, this would have been a great head nod to the fans abroad, but I don't know, man. I guess this type of lack of awareness from Hoyoverse is just astonishing. Now, I was watching a video recently where a YouTuber called Goatliffy does a great job of explaining China's perspective on this matter. He covers reasons why there hasn't been much diversity in games, and a lot of his points are very solid. He also mentions that we as foreigners shouldn't try to force diversity down Chinese people's throats, especially when Hoyoverse is making their characters based off Chinese culture, which I agree. What Fei Xiao's VA did by changing the character to black was super disrespectful, especially the comments who are, encouraging this type of behavior. I felt disgusted with it, especially because we know that Lao Fu is heavily inspired by Chinese culture. Trying to self-insert your own race into someone else's culture is wrong on many levels. However, there is some hypocrisy to people like Goatliffy because he's upset to change the Chinese-inspired character to black, but he doesn't see much of an issue when Chinese developers depict South Americans and African nations as mainly white as snow. So to backpedal, I agree, we should enforce diversity/our culture onto the Chinese. But when it comes to the matter of Natlan and Rappa, he, like many other commenters, are very wrong on what they're saying, and I completely disagree. The moment they use other people's culture for profit, you automatically are open house to foreign criticism, as their claims are very valid since it's their culture that you're representing in your product. I mean, you just can't adopt a culture and get defensive when the native people themselves are upset you didn't include them in their own inspired product. What, do you think those traditions and customs made themselves up on their own? This is especially true for Rappa. This is gonna suck to say because I actually like her character already. I have to agree with the crowd. This was a missed opportunity that was avoided so hard that it feels forced. Just like the same way that I agree with you, Goatliffy, on How to Train Your Dragon, that casting was wrong to insert non-white characters. And I have to ask, how is this not the same exact situation? Now, our discussion in his comments videos, he mentions that because there is one white rapper who is acknowledged as the best of all time, I'm assuming he's talking about Eminem, that's good enough reason why Rappa should be white, since one white guy who hasn't been relevant in years is a valid representation of rap. Now guys, don't be harsh with the gentleman. He is from Indonesia, so he doesn't obviously know better. He's not part of American culture, even less he's aware of rap culture, which is obviously predominantly black. Look man, rap has been adopted by many races, but it's still an art form practiced majority by blacks. I mean, the best are still 99% of black Americans. So yes, while there are some white dudes, Latinos, and Asians who are good rappers, they are not the face of rap. You're not someone you think about when you think about rap. That's why I'm saying Rappa being white seems so forced that it looks cringy. Also, something that I quickly want to gloss over is that when I stated this opinion back in the day about the Natlan controversy when it first arrived, I got many comments saying that I should not be upset on this matter because it's hilarious, because these are fictional worlds, they're not real, and they're not real depictions of real people. Well, for those who say that and still think that, if that's the case, then no one should be upset with Fei Xiao's skin color being changed. After all, this is all just fiction, right? Anyways, guys, end of the day, I agree with Golify. This whole situation has been taken overboard. I just made this video because I wanted to make a reasonable complaint as a person of color. I think some people are definitely being unreasonable, but for me, I think this is a very valid concern that us people of color have. Again, we're not asking for much, at least most of us aren't. Some of us are just asking for a little bit of representation where it should fit in. That being said though, you guys should definitely check out his channel. I know I disagree with him, but he actually has some great content and he's from Indonesia, but despite that, he has a very sophisticated English voice, and bro, like, I would not mind if this guy narrated my books. He has very well put together videos. The one I recommend is Valorant Scene in Shanghai. That one was an interesting watch. That's it for today, guys. Adios, amigos.